Well, I'm pleased with the performance. I thought it was a perfect test for us, really. Said yesterday we would get pressed more with more intensity and better angles, so we had to work that out in the early part of the game, especially playing out of our third of the pitch. But you could see the players start to gain confidence and work out the solutions. From mid-third onwards, I thought we were a massive threat, far more than we've been in previous games. Able to play through. I thought Alex and Jesse were bright and sharp. Alex made really good runs that stretched the opposition. Jesse took up very clever positions, and his interplay, their interplay with Raheem in particular was a real threat. And Raheem in that position off of Vardy, when you've got somebody of that dribbling ability in the middle of the field, is a different problem for the opposition. So I'm very pleased. Generally, we defended well. At times, a couple of crosses, marking was poor, but pretty compact as a team. There's definite in any system. There's slight weaknesses for you defensively, and you've got to cover those. And Italy got into those areas, and we dealt with it pretty well. So. Probably just lost a little bit of rhythm with the changes, and which I think we needed to do, and was important to see some players. And then with John going off as well, it's probably just lost that little bit of cohesion towards the end. But generally, not only tonight, but the two games, really pleased.
How frustrating was the VAR decision?
Well, it is what it is. We have to accept the ruling. I think in this instance, my only observation would be that I don't think it's clear and obvious. So the two areas I think for improvement, and I think it's in general is the right route to go. I prefer referee's decision is final. That's my start point, because I think it's sport, and we shouldn't be talking about how much money it costs or money that's lost. So I think it should be based on sport. But if we're going to go with technology, then I think it's the right thing to do. For me, the two areas are only clear and obvious. Otherwise, it's just opinion again. And as we move forward, a better way of communicating with the fans in the crowd. That was a little better tonight because at least they knew something was going on. But I think ideally in other sports, there's a clearer communication with those in the stadium. And when those at home have a better idea of what's going on than those in the stadium, I'm not sure that's the right thing. But other than that, if we'd had it in Holland the other night, I think we'd have got a penalty and probably a red card for the opposition after 2 minutes. So it's like every other decision, you're going to benefit from some and not from others.
Is there any clarity that you can get or seek to get from any of the referees here on just when it's clear and obvious, what is clear and obvious, and how it is going forward?
Well, I actually was talking to David Ellery about it 10 minutes before the game. So, I think that will be something that everybody will need to look at in the World Cup in particular.
Is the World Cup ready for it? Because there's so many ongoing problems.
I don't know. You'd have to speak to the guys that are across the technology. But I think if it's straightforward decisions, then okay. Other countries are further ahead in the experiment than we have been. For me, look, the rules are the rules. We've got to play the game, and in terms of the performances and the way the guys have worked across the week, I'm really encouraged by what we've done.
Matt Hughes.
Will it potentially change the way you defend and your defenders' mentality? Because it does look like any challenge to be scrutinised minutely in the way that it hasn't been.
Well, I think we know that against the top teams, avoiding conceding free kicks in your third of the pitch is critical. Whether that's free kicks or as it was tonight, a penalty, because free kicks in those areas of the pitch, you have some masters of the game in those direct free kick situations. So we have to defend with patience anyway. That's an important part of what we talk about. And whether it's the referee or another system, it doesn't change that. Yeah, Yeah, I mean, look, first and foremost, he's an important player for us, no question. In training, he's not been able to finish all of the sessions with the little problem he's had. Towards the end of the game, because we had wanted to get Adam in, it was an important part of his rehabilitation to get him in and to give Lewis some time as well. And then losing John, we just felt the cohesion had gone a little bit. I didn't want to make any more changes. So Dele always wants to play, of course, so I know he'll be disappointed with that. But he's a very good player, and he's very important to us.
James, are you?
Yeah, just on this get together as a whole, how much is it kind of clarified your thinking in terms of your final?
Yeah, I don't think we've seen things that have necessarily surprised us, but there's been some really strong performances from individuals that have cemented, I don't say their place in the squad, because I think 19, 20 of those we're pretty clear on. It's often who are the next ones in if we get a problem in a particular area. So it was really good to see James Tarkowski tonight, because we've got people we feel can play in the back three and have done well. But he showed he could cope with international football against good opposition. Very comfortable and on the ball. Played some really calm moments. Kyle Walker's position has clearly been a huge plus for us, but again, not a surprise because we know the attributes that he has. So as an exercise and the things we've tried, we've learned a lot from the week.
Sam Wallace?
You started the week being asked about Russia and the World Cup. I mean, things have escalated today with NATO. Have your view changed at all on England going to the World Cup, or how do you approach it?
Forgive me, I've no idea what's happened.
NATO expelled from Russia.
Okay, well, I'd need to be a little bit more aware of the facts of everything, of course, to comment appropriately. But look, I've got to prepare the team and focus on what I can affect. I know I'll be updated appropriately on everything that happens, and I know the desire from the government and everybody else is that we go to the World Cup. So I've got to keep preparing the team, and my priority is to try and keep improving the team, working with the players that we've got. And I feel that we've made positive progression over the last 10 days.
Any further questions? Simon Peach?
This is obviously the last match you're going to have, and the last time you're going to be playing for the select squad. Are you where you want to be in terms of your preparation?
I get that question every time. It depends where I want to be, doesn't it, really? We'd love to be ranked third in the world and all our players with 50 caps and, everything else. But we're not. We were... Everybody knows the history of the last couple of years, so I don't need to go through that because we've got to look forward. But in terms of the last 4 games, we've played 4 of the biggest football countries in the world. They're at different levels of progression. We've been competitive in every game. I think our patterns of play have become far clearer to everybody. We will improve that. The more we work together, we will improve that. And the guys will... What's really pleasing me, they're solving problems on the pitch themselves at times. Changes of formation from the opposition. Patterns of working their way through different pressing strategies. So that's a real plus that they're taking that responsibility and they're identifying those things. And that will only improve the more we work together. So I'm really looking forward to getting them back together as a group and the lead into the what is a fantastic, exciting tournament for us.
Okay. Thank you very much.